Now, if you are a self-publisher, especially low and mid content, your royalties are about to drop. And most people aren't actually ready for this. But in this video, I'll show you why your royalty is about to drop and what you can actually do moving forward to make sure that you're not affected by this. So let's get straight into it about what is actually happening. Now, you might have received an email from Amazon, or you can actually just go into the community and find this specific article and read it, that changes to KDP royalties for print books priced below certain list prices, for example, less than $9.99 USD, and updates to color printing costs. So this was on May 18th, and it states that for the first time since starting print operations almost 2 decades ago, starting June 10th, 2025, we are changing the royalty rates for books priced below certain list prices from 60% to 50%. And this represents a massive change, as these books represent a unique challenge given increasing operational costs. And this change will allow us to continuing offering these books while avoiding impacts to other titles. And as well, on top of that, as part of their annual printing cost reviews, that they are also reducing color printing costs for paperbacks in some marketplaces to help authors adopt color printing. So these are some massive changes that will affect low and mid content publishers. And we can actually take a look just to see what this will actually look like. So if we go over to the KDP calculator, we can see that if your book is priced under $9.99, so the first example I'll show is $7.99, we can see that at the moment it's got that 60% royalty rate, and we can see what the printing costs are and the minimum list price. And at this point, you're earning a $2.35 royalty. However, after June the 10th, now the minimum list price will go up. You can see that this 50% royalty rate, the printing cost still stays the same. However, your estimated royalty will now be $1.56. And that will be a huge damaging change for so many self-publishers. We can see in other markets the change where it goes from $1.56 estimated royalty to 96 pence, and even in euros. So €2 and 19 cents, and that becomes €1.39. And you really have to feel for so many self-publishers. This is really going to affect their margins huge. It can be very difficult to price low and mid-content books a lot higher. And with that, so many people are going to see their monthly royalties go down. And we can even have a look if your books are priced $8.99. We can see the difference. So the estimated royalty for an $8.99 book is $2.95 before, but then after the change, you're only getting $2.06. And you can see how it affects your books in other markets too. Now, because this affects so many low and mid content publishers, I wanted to create a video specifically on this topic that would actually help a lot of people that are going through this situation and will see their monthly royalties drop because of this. I've watched a few videos, but I wanted to specifically mention a few things that haven't been said at all. So first of all, as I'm sure many of you have already done, is to review your books and just see how many of your books will be affected by this. And then you really need to be considering if you can actually start moving your books to that higher price point where you won't be affected by this. But what I really want to do is share a few strategies that will really start to shift your mindset, especially in the long term. And the first point that I want us to take a look at is making your book worth the price. Now, the other strategies I will share that are actually going to work really well together, but this should be your starting point, as don't just raise your price just because you think that you want to be earning the same royalty. With that higher price point, that does come with a certain expectation from the customer, and you really need to focus on quality rather than just that quick price adjustment. So you need to be evaluating your book's worth. Can you start to add more content or more features to your books so you can actually price those books a lot higher? Is your cover and interior very competitive? So is it actually similar to or even better than what's on the market? And can you even turn maybe a simple book into a guided or maybe a more themed version, or maybe find a specific audience that you really want to start targeting your book towards, as you really need to start standing out from the competition. As with all these price changes, it's really just a race to the bottom, but you need to find a way that you can make your books better than your competition so that you can still continue to earn the same royalties. Can you start maybe getting more reviews on your books and really pushing your books to stand out above the rest? And the best thing about this shift is when you start thinking like this, each book that you make, you're always going to be trying to make a better book every single time. And with time, your whole process will shift and you'll start creating really outstanding books that will kind of separate yourself from your niche and your competition. But that needs to be the mindset going forward, because I can guarantee you that most people are just going to shift the price of their book forward. They're not really going to do anything. And then they're going to be thinking, okay, why am I not getting the same sales that I got before? It's because obviously your book is now a lot higher and some people are not willing to pay that high for your book. So you need to do something different to your book. Don't settle or be average, but always be pushing yourself to create the best books possible. So moving on to the next strategy. Now, this actually involves building your own audience, which is going to be absolutely massive in the next few years, as too many people just rely on Amazon. And really, Amazon, they don't really care about you at all. So you need to diversify your audience channels for much greater control. And some of the bigger brands are already doing this. They're growing on platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. They've also got their own email lists. And they're also got their own websites, landing pages too. They're offering other things outside of Amazon. And these are the things you really need to start doing. So Amazon is not in full control of your business. Because once you do have control of your audience, then you have control over your pricing, over launches, and over your demand as well. Now, there are actually low content publishers that are earning a $7 plus royalty per book. I know it sounds crazy. And this is just because they've actually built real demand outside of Amazon. And it's not easy. Everybody thinks that, you just create a few social media posts and it will blow up, but it takes time and consistency to do. A lot of these self-publishers who do this and try to build outside of Amazon, they've been doing this for months and for years, but there's so many profitable reasons to do this. And I'm going to show you a few examples. So first we can take a look at Coco Wyo, who have been building their brand on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and so many places. And they've literally just created coloring book videos that you can take a look, very simple coloring videos, and they're consistently able to get a lot of views on their videos just from coloring in their coloring books. And they've built up a massive audience of 500,000 followers, which is crazy and mind-blowing, but they've stayed consistent and they've been doing this for a long time. Second example I want to show you through is one of the most popular journals on Amazon. So the creator of the Shadow Journal. Now, she's got her own personal brand that she's been building up, and again, she talks about various concepts related to her book, and a lot of people actually post and create videos about her book. So she's created a huge audience, and so many people actually just create videos around her books, which again just drives more traffic to her brand. So you can check out the Shadow Work Journal on Amazon. Thirdly, I want to show Hayden Fox Media. Again, his books absolutely kill it on Amazon, but you can see some of the insane views he's getting on his TikToks. So we've got 2.4 million, 4.5 million, 4 million, and all these they're just simple carousels. You can see if we just scroll across, just 7 different knock jokes, just as simple as that. And then at the end of this, we can simply see that they have a copy of all of their books there. So people will go into Amazon and buy their books just from these simple TikToks alone. And these are just simple AI generated images. Again, you can get all the jokes from ChatGPT, but you can see how consistently they've been doing this for a long time. Not every video is going to be going viral, but you just stay consistent with this over a long time, and some of the videos, they will pop off. And I've been doing this myself to test this out for quite a while now, and there's a reason why I always recommend TikTok. And I like all the video analysis data that it gives you. So from this TikTok that I did not too long ago, I got 1.3 million plays, 34,000 likes, over 300 comments, over 20k shares, and over 20k favorites. So we can see here video views nearly 1.3 million, and it's just a 9.9 second average watch time. And what's crazy from this is I gained nearly 9,000 followers just from a 9 second clip alone. So that just shows you the power of TikTok and how quickly you are able to create an audience. And you can even see the search queries that people have actually typed in to find the video that you created. And then you can create even more videos around those search terms, which helps you go viral even more. And then you're also even provided the top words that are actually used in your comment section. So for example, one of the words were childhood dream. So I might want to tap into that and create even more videos around that. So once you understand how it works, you can just keep on re-engineering the process and creating even more viral content. Now, I do have some videos on my channel that specifically talk about some of my TikTok strategies, so you can watch those two videos here. But having your own audience can only help you massively in the long term. So the third strategy that you really need to be doing is start thinking actually like a business owner and thinking long term. You've got to understand Amazon's motivation, as they are just adjusting these royalties because lower price print books are becoming less profitable to produce. Now, Amazon will always prioritize its profits. It is a business at the end of the day. They don't care about us self-publishers who are just trying to make some extra money on the side. So don't take this personal at all. Really start to think like a business owner. So from this, we really need to start recognizing the pattern of changes that Amazon are doing. In the past 2 years, Amazon previously also did a printing cost increase. For example, as well, in the UK, they also added a VAT policy to all of the books. And now this royalty structure shift is also another big change. So you really need to start thinking and planning ahead. And this is something that I did to prepare. So this change is actually not affecting my books because it's something that I'd actually thought about and considered quite a while ago. So you need to start asking yourself the hard questions. Do I want to keep on making low and mid content books? And if yes, how can I charge more and actually future proof my business? And again, what if the threshold actually rises in the next 2 years, for example, to $11.99 to $12.99? Again, Amazon can do anything. It's their platform. We are not in control. They can just shift it and do whatever. So you really need to start actually planning ahead and considering what opportunities and threats are coming. And these are all things I actually sat back roughly 2 years ago in 2023. I sat back and thought about. I asked myself these questions in my own business, and I started to raise the prices of my book, ensure that I was creating the best quality books. I was trying to get reviews for my books and really push my business forward. So you really need to start taking control of your own self-publishing business, as if your book depends entirely on Amazon's rules, you're not really in any control at all. But if you focus on quality, your pricing strategy, audience building, then you will be able to protect and grow your business no matter what changes come. So just going through a few final thoughts, make sure you actually own your own future as a publisher and take control of your publishing business. Make sure you start thinking about long-term planning and don't just wait for the next change, but start to be proactive and start building your own audience on a platform. I've suggested TikTok, as you can grow really, really fast in that platform, and then start pushing your books to create better quality books and stand out with superior content. So this royalty cut, all it is just a wake up call. So it is a time to adapt your strategy and make sure that you are prepared for whatever change that Amazon brings next. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, but I hope this video helps.